Hi, I'm Jesse Ahmet, your host of Valley News Now, and I'm with two very special people today. I'm with Whitney Baumgartner and Kim Wunsch, and we're talking about Lend a Hand Up and the difference it can make. We're also going to talk a little bit about Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So thank you, ladies, so much for being with me today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
So, Whitney, maybe we'll start with you. Can you tell us just, I guess, why we're here and what we want to talk about today?
Yeah, so my beautiful friend Kim Wanch was diagnosed with breast cancer. I believe it was last April, May. She'll kind of tell her story on that. But in my past, event planning was very near and dear to my heart. So I asked her if we could put together a fundraiser for her and just to help raise funds and raise awareness. And so we did the fundraiser in September and we teamed up with Lend a Hand Up organization, and they were absolutely incredible. The different, stuff they gave us at the start just to help support Kim and family, helping us with just how to organize a benefit and silent auction, how to run that. They had a system online that we used, which was absolutely incredible. Made it super easy, super organized, so that we could have people bid from, all over, right? When you do
Yeah.
silent auctions at benefits and it's only at the benefit, you're not getting as far of a reach. So
Yeah.
we had a band play. We did it at Shields Arena. So that was super fun. We had a pasta buffet, but we raised a ton of money. Super thankful for, again, Lend a Hand, all of the different sponsors, the donators. I mean, everybody. It was absolutely incredible.
Our community is so generous that way, and I think it's hard for people to reach out, especially in here. So we often need someone like you, a friend who can say, "Hey, I'm gonna organize this for you." And I'm sure you had to almost push her into it. Is what I keep hearing from almost every beneficiary of a Lend a Hand Up campaign is, oh no, not me. I mean, even when we first got on, Kim, you're so sweet. I want this to be about Lend a Hand Up. There's so many people that need help. But you spoke to it a little bit already, but I kind of want to re-emphasize, when you're in that situation, your friend is hurting, there's this diagnosis, and you want to help so badly. And, there's GoFundMe's, there's all these different other organizations, but maybe just speak to why Lend a Hand Up is so beneficial in this area.
Yeah, so I think just locally, right? They don't take any money. There's no, they have an option when people donate online for them to cover the credit card fees, right? So
Sure.
that there's not as much of a cost on the lend a hand side. But just the support, I mean, we were able to, talk to them whenever we needed. If there was, things we needed help on, or questions we had, or we
Yeah.
wanted, tips or tricks on different things with the benefit. Of course, they do the boost as well, the 20% boost. So if you hit 25,000 raised, you get $5,000 from them as a boost, which is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
But they have so many contacts locally. And so, I mean, even to start, I think they donated like 3 or 4 silent auction items. So they
Oh.
said, like, hey, we have something for the auction if you want to come pick it up. So, like, I mean, just the generosity from, I think, the community. But I was so humbled when we, kicked this off, just to see the support, and from Lend a Hand, just to, constantly be there to help us out, was so incredible. Yeah, I mean, honestly, they're such a great organization, to support, and just everything they do. Like, you go through and you scroll on there and see the number of benefits, and so,
Yeah.
the way they helped us is the same way they're helping all of these other people, which is so incredible.
It is, and it's our friends, family, neighbors right here in the community. When you donate to them, it all stays local. And like you said, you don't have to know anything. And I think as the friend, often it's like, okay, well, I don't know if I know how to put on a benefit or do this, and that's another reason why Lend a Hand Up is so great. I feel like I'm doing an infomercial. This is not sponsored by Lend a Hand Up. They don't gain any money, but they're just a really incredible organization that is literally just there to help you out when you need it.
Yeah.
And like you said, every step of the way, and whether you know things or not, the contacts are already plugged in. And so I too, I'm grateful that it exists here in the Red River Valley, and so this is awesome. We were gonna try to visit maybe before the event, and of course it didn't work with everyone's schedules. So I'm glad that we got to follow up after the event. So Kim, I would love to hear from you as well. Tell me what it feels like to have your friends put on an event like this.
Well, everyone needs a friend like Whitney. I'll tell you that. She's got more connections in town than I could even imagine. But no, I mean, the event itself was just amazing in and of itself. And, I think it just goes to show that nobody has to fight alone in any unfortunate circumstance.
Yeah.
So it was really cool to kind of see, it all come to life. And it was more so like a marketing campaign and something that, Whitney and we live and breathe every day on the marketing department. But they know how to reach people in different avenues. So, talking about Facebook posts, billboards, there was a newsletter, it was not that, people love having their circumstance blasted all over, but it does raise awareness. And I think that's the most important thing out of all of this is just, one, that there is help if people need it. And, like I said, when you have friends like Whitney, and she's born and raised from around here and we're not. So it definitely, it was very impactful for my family and I.
Well, and so we've talked about, the amazing benefits of working with Lend a Hand Up, but also talking about that awareness piece. And I know that's, just from talking to you briefly, that's near and dear to your heart, and one thing you were hoping to maybe something good that can come out of this, if I'm not overstepping my bounds there.
Not at all.
Maybe you could just speak to that a little bit.
Absolutely. So, I mean, especially this month, right? So it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which holds a whole new meaning to me at this point in my life.
Things that you never thought, words that you never thought, you would ever have someone speak to you, and then all of a sudden you're there.
Right. And, being very active in my care and my health care and being preventative, going to all the doctor's appointments, getting all the blood tests, everything you're supposed to do. And you're still at a point of you don't know until you know. And, I had a clear mammogram last year, the end of last year.
Wow.
And, it was nothing more than just an awkward little tiny aesthetic change that could have been nothing. Right. Yeah. And I watched it for a few months, and long story short, I went in and still had an okay mammogram.
Really?
It still wasn't caught. They caught it with an ultrasound. And yeah, I just got done. It'll be 2 weeks tomorrow with 20 weeks of chemo.
Wow.
And I go in 2 weeks from today, and I have a double mastectomy scheduled. So
wow,
it's still a very long road ahead, but it just makes you want to, makes you more aware to really listen to your body, ask the questions, ask the hard questions, right? Yeah. I could have brought it up not at all in my doctor's appointment, and I could still be sitting here with 12 inches of long dark hair, right?
Right. But
so it's one of those things, like you have to know and listen to your body and be sure and ask the question.
That's so important. I think what you said about listening to our body, and I think as women, we just get going so fast. And, whether you have kids or not, whatever it is that, you're going hard in your career, you're trying to, eat right and exercise and take care of everyone around you. And what an important piece to say, you need to listen to your body. And had you not gone in, I don't want to think about that, what different course that might have taken. But you're right in the middle of it. Like you said, just out of chemo, headed in 2 weeks for the double mastectomy. That's got to be I can't even imagine, very overwhelming thing to be facing.
Yeah. And, financially, right, this is what Whitney and Andrea did for my family. And it's one thing I just don't have to think about. Right. And that's, I think, what the most amazing part of this organization, has really done for me. And I think I could speak for a lot of people that are also having a benefit, like just the monetary part of it. We don't know what we don't know. Right. And so that's kind of one of those unknowns that we don't have to necessarily plan for because of Lend a Hand Up organization. So it was pretty awesome
That is pretty
to be
cool.
part of it.
Yeah.
And the receiving end of it, you know, there's no words for how grateful we are. Very humbled, and yeah, just definitely brings the community together. So
It does.
it was really
Yeah,
cool.
it does. And it's, I thank you so much for sharing your story. I mean, it's a very personal story, and you're right in the middle of it still, which I think is the hardest time to share. But it is impactful for other women to be hearing and to know we got to listen to our bodies. We got to go in for those regular checks, and maybe even get a little extra aggressive. Like you said, you did all the things, and then noticed, you know what, I might need to go in a little bit early and have this looked at. Yeah. And
Yes.
yeah. Wow. It's a lot. It's a lot. How's your family? How are you and your family doing?
Amazing. Amazing. I couldn't have done it without them.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah, we have 4 kids, and I mean, one of them lives in California, but our other 3 are young, and they're here with us, and they're asking all the questions of, you
Yep.
know, all the important ones.
Yep.
Is your hair gonna stay white?
Yes, you said you had dark hair, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very dark, very long dark hair.
So,
but
I
it's
bet
a-
what a change for mom to look so
Yeah.
different. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
you're rocking
but
it. You look absolutely
we don't-
beautiful.
hair is temporary. It'll come back. We
Yeah.
don't need it. It's
Yep.
just the thing. But no, they've been awesome. My husband has been amazing.
That's
So-
incredible.
They're just ready to have their mom back. So
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. What does your recovery look like for this?
oh man, that's a great question. You know, I took 3 weeks off after chemo. And like I said, I'll be having a double mastectomy here in a couple weeks, and it's a 6 to 8 week recovery on that.
Wow.
And the cancer type that I have, so I was stage 3 lobular carcinoma.
Okay.
And with that, basically hormones are feeding my cancer. And so I'll be on basically a suppression therapy for as long as I know, for life,
Okay.
basically.
Okay.
Which is, you know, it is what it is. I
Yep.
will have radiation just because of my initial tumor size. I'll have radiation after my surgery. So
Okay.
yeah, and then it'll be just hopefully in maintenance, or not even maintenance. I'll be
Yep.
free of it, hopefully. So
Yes.
we just got to take one day at a time.
Wow. Well, you are an inspiration, and then I don't want to overly embarrass you by saying saying all these things to you, but I do have to say it anyway. You were an inspiration, and so brave and courageous for sharing your story, being able to be vulnerable like that. It's really hard, especially like I said, in the midst of it. It's one thing when it's over, but when you are in the midst, you're in that montage. The Rocky scene where you've got the montage of the hard stuff. That's what you're living right now, and that's a tough place. So I just appreciate you so much for sharing what Lend a Hand Up can do, and also the breast cancer awareness piece too, that we just need to be listening to our bodies and getting those health checks, and we want to be here for our families, and love and prayers to you in your courageous journey.
Thank you so much.
Yes, and for friends like Whitney as well. I mean, many people have been in Kim's shoes, and probably more of us have been in Whitney's shoes, where your friend has this diagnosis, you don't know what to do, you want to help, and Lend a Hand Up is a great place to go where you can feel like you can really help, and then hopefully take a little bit of that financial burden off of your plate, so you can focus on your family, focus on your recovery, and that's awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Again, that is Whitney Baumgartner and Kim Wantz sharing their stories with Lend a Hand Up, and what a great organization. Go to lendahandup.org. You can see Kim's story, and you can see many others, and places where you can donate and help be a part of this generous community. And I am Jessie Ammett, your host of Valley News Now.